Alright, Miyu, so let's continue our stage 7, 5, 2, 6. Right. Alright, ready?
Okay.
Good. Alright, so after being sinister face. Okay, another. So do you find that no matter what you do, you cannot please everyone? Contraction, you can't please everyone. Do you find that no matter what you do, you can't please everyone? Yes, I find that.
Yes, I find that.
No matter what
No
I
matter
do,
what I do,
I can't
I
please
can't
everyone.
please everyone.
Why is this so? Why is this so? Because people
Because
have
people
different
have
tastes,
different
tastes,
tastes,
ideas, and
ideas,
opinions.
and opinions.
Okay, another. So in Japan, what's the time right now? Please, what's the time right now? The time
The
right
time
now
right
is.
now is 9:33.
Yep. So what's the name of the country right in the north of Europe? What's the name of the country right in the north of Europe? The name of
The
a
name
country.
of a country.
That is what.
Right
in the north
in
of
the
Europe
north of Europe
is Norway.
is Norway.
Norway. Norway.
Norway.
To Norway. Donde mamãe. Okay, another. So Norway, right? And so what are the three forms of choose? So what are the three forms of choose? The three forms of
The
choose
three
are.
forms of choose
Are choose, chose, chosen. Well, who chose the shoes you're wearing? Who chose the shoes you're wearing?
I chose
The shoes I'm
the
wearing.
shoes I'm wearing.
Yep. Have you chosen where you're going to go for your next holiday? Again, have you chosen where you're going to go for your next holiday? Yes, no?
No.
No, I haven't
I
chosen
haven't
where.
chosen where.
I'm going to
I'm
go
going
for
to
my
go
next
for
holiday.
my next holiday.
Yep. Do you believe that more is gained by force than by persuasion? Again, do you believe that more is gained by force than by persuasion? Yes, no?
No.
No, I don't
I
believe
don't
that
believe that
more is
more is
gained
gained
by force
by
than by persuasion.
persuasion.
Yep. Is a bow any use without arrows? Is a bow any use without arrows? No, a bow
No, a
isn't any
bow
use
isn't any
without
use without
arrows.
arrows.
Yep. Arrows. Is it natural for cats to spend a lot of their time sleeping? Is it natural for cats to spend a lot of their time sleeping? Yes, it's natural
Yes,
for
it's natural
cats
for cats
to spend a
to
lot of their
spend a
time
lot of their time
sleeping.
sleeping.
Ah, you're a cat. Okay, another. What would you like to invent, Mia? What would you like to invent? I'd like to
I'd like to
invent
invent
what?
time
What do you
machine.
like? I see. You wanna go back yesterday? You wanna go
Yay.
back yesterday? Only yesterday when I was eating a lot of snacks. Like another. Have you made any, or let's say, have you ever made a speech in public? Have you ever made a speech in public? Yes, no.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yes, right. So yes, I've made
Yes,
a
I've made
speech
a speech
in
in
public.
public.
Yeah, she's a speaker, guys. Ask her, ask her. Okay, another. So what is the expression? Quite a few mean. What is the expression? Quite a few mean. The expression
The
quite a few
expression quite
means
a few means
a fairly large
a
number
fairly
of.
large number of.
Yeah, giving examples. Giving examples. There were quite a
There are
few
quite a few
people
people
at a party.
at a party.
What are the three forms of draw? What are the forms of draw? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
draw are
draw are draw, drew, drawn.
drawn. If you draw that table across the floor, do you think it'll leave a mark behind it? Again, if you drew that table across the floor, do you think it'll leave a mark behind it? Yes, if I
Yes,
drew
if
this
I drew
table
this table
across the
across
floor,
the floor,
I think it'll
I
leave a
think
mark
it'll leave a mark
behind it.
behind it.
Yep. If you drew my face, do you suppose it'd be recognizable? If you drew my face, do you suppose it'd be recognizable? No. If I drew
No,
if I drew
if
your
I drew your
face,
face,
I don't
I don't
suppose
suppose
it'd be
it'd be
recognizable.
recognizable.
Recognizable. She already did, and it wasn't. So sad. Why not? Why not? Because
Because
you're what? Just a moment. There was a pop-up message. Yeah, like the message in the system. Yeah, why? Because I can't draw
I
very well.
can't draw very well.
I don't suppose it'd
I
be.
I don't suppose
It'd be
to be
recognizable.
recognizable.
Yes, it's okay. Your drawing is the best. Another about how long ago is it since everything was drawn by horses? Again, about how long ago it's since everything was drawn by horses? It's about a
It's
hundred
about
years ago
100 years ago
since everything
since
was
everything
drawn
was drawn
by
by
horses.
horses.
Okay, let's go to the next. Another. What do we use the expression at last? Again, what do we use the expression at last? We use the
We use
expression
the
at
expression
last
at last
when we feel
when
that
we
we
feel
have been
that we have been
waiting for a long
waiting for a long
time
time
for something
for
to
something to
happen,
happen.
and then it
Uh,
happens,
uh,
and then it
and
happens.
then it happened.
Yep. Give an example. Give an example. Is here you are at last.
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 Where have you been?
Where have you been?
I've been to London. Okay, another. What if we use the word lastly? Again, what if we use the word lastly? We use the
We
word
use the word
lastly
lastly
to say the
to say
last
the
thing
last
in
things in
the last
the
thing
last thing
in a list.
in a list.
Yep, give an example. Give an example. So we need to
We
paint
need
this
to paint this
office,
office,
buy some new
buy some new
computers,
computers,
and
and
lastly,
lastly,
get better desks
get
for
better desks for
everyone.
everyone.
Yep. So me, which word can we use instead of at last or lastly? Which word can we use instead of at last or lastly? We can use
We
the
can
word
use the word
finally instead of
finally instead of
at last
at
or
last or
lastly.
lastly.
Give an example of the word finally, please. Give an example of the word finally, please. Ah,
Ah,
finally.
finally.
Here's the boss.
Here's the boss.
Yep, another. So she finished her work. She
They
finished her work.
finished her work.
She
She
finished her work.
finished her work.
Turned off the
Turned off the
computer,
computer,
put on her jacket,
put on
and
her jacket, and
finally left the
finally left
office.
the office.
Okay, let's move down. So, if I claim to be a millionaire, would you believe me? If I claim to be a millionaire, would you believe me? No. If you
No,
claim to be a millionaire,
if you claim to
to
be a
be a millionaire,
millionaire,
I wouldn't
I
believe
wouldn't
you.
believe you
Why not? Why not? Because you wouldn't
because you
be.
wouldn't be
You wouldn't be what? You wouldn't
you
be
wouldn't be
teaching here
teaching
now.
here now.
I will still be teaching though. Yes. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Another, if someone hit your car and it was definitely their fault, could you claim damages against them? Again, if someone hit your car and it was definitely their fault, could you claim damages against them? Yes, no? Yes, if someone
If
hit my
someone
car
hit my car
and it was
and it was
definitely their
definitely
fault,
their fault,
I could claim
I could
damages
claim
against them.
damages against them.
If they rejected your claim, what did you do? If they rejected your claim, what do you do? If they
If they
rejected
rejected
my
my
claim,
claim,
I'd take them
I'd
to
take them to
court.
court.
Just for a scratch. Okay, another say if a relation of yours died and left you some land or other property, would you have to go in order to claim it legally? If a relation of yours died and left you some land or other property, would you have to go in order to claim it legally? If a
If
relation
a
of mine, relation of
relation
mine
of mine
died and
died
left me
and
some
left me
land
some land
or other
or
property,
other property,
I'd have to go to
I'd have to go to
a
a
lawyer's
lawyer's
office
office
in order to
in
claim it
order to
legally.
claim it legally.
Yep, where must you go to claim things that you've left on the train? Where must you go to claim things that you've left on the train? I must
I
go to
must go
the
to the
lost property
lost
office
property
to
office
claim
to
things
claim
that
things that
I've left on the
I've left
train.
on the train.
On the
On the
train.
train.
Yep, another. Do old people often talk about what life was like in their youth? Yeah, I do this sometimes. I'm old. Old people often talk about what life was like in their youth. Yes, old
Yes,
people
old people
often talk
often
about
talk about
what life was like.
what was
Life,
life
what life was
what
like
life was like
in their
in their
youth.
youth.
Yep. Do you think the youth of today are better educated than the youth of 100 years ago? Do you think the youth of today are better educated than the youth of 100 years ago? Yes, I think
Yes,
the
I
youth
think
of
the youth
today
of today
are better.
are better.
The youth
The
of
youth
today.
of today,
I cannot hear one more time. The youth
the
of
youth
today
of today
are better
are better
educated
educated
than the youth
than
of a
the youth
hundred
of a
years ago.
hundred years ago.
So, guys, the connection is sometimes, Okay, another is what kind of work can a youth do better than an old man? What kind of work can a youth do better than an old man? A youth
A
can do
youth can
physical
do
work
physical work
better than
better
an
than an
and old
old
man.
man.
Yep, okay, let's move down to grammar. What's a class? What's a class? A
A
class is
clause
any
is
group of
any
words, group of
group
words,
of words
of
of
words
words
with a
with a
subject and
subject and
a main
a
verb.
main verb.
What's a conjunction? What's a conjunction? A
A
conjunction is a
conjunction
word
is a word
that joins
that joins
clauses
clauses
together to make
together to make
long
long
sentences.
sentences.
Yep, give me an example of the sentence that contains two clauses joined together by a conjunction, please. Give me an example of a sentence that contains two clauses joined together by conjunction, please. I love
I
chocolate
love chocolate
because it tastes
because
so
it
good.
tastes so good.
Yes, everyone knows that. Okay, another. What is the difference between a main class and a dependent class? What is the difference between a main class and a dependent class? The
The
difference
difference
between
between
a main
a main
class and
clause and
a
a
dependent
dependent
class
clause
is
is
that
that
a main
a
class
main
is
clause is
or contains a main class
contains
contains
main clause contains
the main
the
message of
main
the sentence.
messages of the sentence,
The main
the
message of the sentence.
message of the sentence,
What's meant? Main
main
message
message
of the
of the
sentence.
sentence,
Whereas a dependent
whereas the
clause
dependent
contains
clause
contains other
contains
information.
other information.
which is the main clause in the sentence. If I don't sleep enough, I feel tired. Which is the main clause in the sentence. If I don't sleep enough, I feel tired. I feel tired is the main clause in that sentence. And which is the dependent clause? And which is the dependent clause? If I don't sleep enough, is the dependent clause. Give me a sentence containing two clauses that starts with a conjunction, please. Give me a sentence containing two clauses that starts with a conjunction, please. When I visit my mom, I'll tell her the news. If the weather is good, we can go for a walk in the park. We can go
for a
walk in the park. In the park. Yep, so which conjunctions cannot start the sentence like this? Again, which conjunctions cannot start a sentence like this? The conjunctions and, or, and but cannot start the sentence like that. Yep, okay, so from that floor of the building, do you have to descend to go outside? Again, from that floor of the building, do you have to descend to go outside? Yes, from this floor of the building, I have to descend to go outside. To go outside. What's another verb to descend? What's another verb to descend? The noun of the verb to descend. The noun of the verb.
The noun of
the verb descend is descend. Yep, again another. So is Jerusalem a holy place for many people in the world? Is Jerusalem a holy place for many people in the world? Yes, Jerusalem is a holy place for many people in the world. Yeah, is a holy place, right? Again, another. So if you're not able to do something, do you think it's better to confess the fact? Like, oh, Huazheng, can you do that? If you're not able to do something, do you think it's better to do or to confess the fact? Yes, no?
Yes.
If I'm not able to do
something,
I think it's better
to confess
the fact.
Yeah.
I cannot do that. Can you do that for me? Again, so cute. Another, which is safer to build a house on the seashore or on the shore of a lake? Which is safer to build a house on the seashore or on the shore of a lake? It's safer to build a house on the shore of a lake. Why? Because the weather is not so rough. Yep. Rough. Again, let's move down. What's another word we can use instead of put? What's another word we can use instead of put? Another word we can use instead of put is lay. Yep. What are the three forms of lay? What are the forms of lay? The three forms of lay are lay, laid. Yep. What did they lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? What did they lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? You laid your books on the table at the beginning of the lesson. About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? Most birds lay their eggs. About
once a year.
How did you know? You have a bird. And who lays the table in your house? Who lays the table in your house? I lay the table in my house. Yep. Another. Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? Very honest. Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? No, I don't think. It's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie. Why not? Because every now and again, it may be necessary to tell a small lie. So I'm okay. It's the biggest lie in the world. Right. Yeah, another what is a single bed? About how wide is a single bed? A single bed is about 3 feet wide. When traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? Again, when traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? When traveling, yep, it's usually cheaper to buy
a return ticket.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, let's move down here. So, what are the three forms of fight? What are the forms of fight? The three forms of fight
are fight, fought,
forms
fought.
of fight.
The three forms of fight are fight, fought.
Correct. So, what countries has your country fought against in the past? What countries has your country fought against in the past? My country has fought against. Which one? Which country?
Where?
America, the Philippines. The Philippines in the past. It's okay. We're not friends. Yeah, past is past. You know. Again, now give an example of the construction. Make plus object plus adjective, please. Give an example of the constructions. Make plus object plus adjective, please. Work makes us
tired.
I like it though. I like stress. What about you? Give an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective. Give me an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective. Exercise keeps
Exercise
you
keeps you
healthy.
healthy.
Healthy. Yep. Healthy. Again, so which would you rather look after me for a week, a baby or a horse? Which would you rather look after for a week, a baby or a horse? I'd rather look after
I'd
a
rather look after a
what?
horse
For a week than a
for a
baby.
big than a baby
Why? Why?
because it's better to take care of you. You don't cry.
You don't cry. I'm a horse, guys. Terrible. What kind of horse is this? I'm like, I'm bullies around, etc. Just put etc. on the way, etc. Hello, etc. etc.
Etc.
Yeah, I like etc.
What? What?
Because why? You only say because you don't cry, etc. Many more reasons, right?
Okay.
Another, yeah, because guys, if I don't put etc., she will continue to bully me.
It's okay.
Again, it's okay. It's not okay. Okay, anyways, the next question is dun, 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 dun. Why is that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? Yeah, so why are you? Yeah, why is that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? I think the
I
reason
think the
children
reason children
so often
so
don't know how
often
to
don't know
behave
how to behave
themselves
themselves
when there are no
when there
adults
are
to
no
watch.
adults to watch.
When there are
When
no
there are
adults
no adults
to
to
watch
watch
over
over
them, is
them,
that
is that
they don't know
they
how
don't know
they don't
how
know
they don't know
the difference
the difference
between
between
right and wrong.
right and wrong.
Yes, perfect, guys, perfect. Again, another. So, what happens to children who behave badly? Again, what happens to children who behave badly? Children
Children behave badly
who behave badly
who
are
behave badly are
sometimes sent to
sometimes
bed early
sent to bed early
by their parents.
their, by their parents.
Yeah, I sometimes do that. Parent. Okay, my mom did. Another. So, are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Yes, people are
Yes, people
usually
are usually
on their
on their
best
best
behavior
behavior
during job interviews.
during their
Job
job
interviews.
interviews.
During?
During job interviews.
Correct. Another. If you were walking home late at night, me and someone trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? Again, if you were walking home late at night and someone trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, if I were
If I
walking
were
home
walking
late at
home
night
late at night
and saw a
and saw a
man
man
trying to break into
trying
a
to
shop,
break into the shop,
into a shop,
into a shop,
I'd inform the police.
I'd inform the police.
Yep. Canada, if you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? Again, if you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? If I were
If I
carrying
were if I were carrying
some heavy
some
shopping
heavy
bags
shopping bags
and someone
and
offered to
someone
carry one
offered
for
to
me,
carry one for me,
I could say,
I could say,
thank you.
thank you.
That's very kind
That's
of you.
very kind of you.
You're welcome. Oh. It's me. Another, if one behaves with kindness to another person, Mia, does that person usually return the kindness? If one behaves with kindness to another person, does that person usually return the kindness? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes, if one
If
behaves
one behaves
with
with
kindness
kindness
to another
to another
person,
person,
that person
that
usually
person
returns
usually returns
the
the
kindness.
kindness.
Yep, okay, let's move down here. So give me first a negative and then a positive answer to the following questions. Ready? Okay, so this fly is flying. Of course. Another, is it far from here? There was a fly flying around. Yep, I don't know. Maybe of the food, because of the food. Another, is it far from here to the next town? Is it far from here to the next town? No, it
No, it
isn't far from
isn't
here
far from here
to the
to
next
the
town.
next town.
Yes, it's a long way from
Yes,
here,
it's a long
a long way
way
from here
from here
to the next
to the
town.
next town.
Yep. Did you walk very far yesterday? Did you walk very far yesterday? No, I
No,
didn't
I
walk
didn't
very
walk
far
very far
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yes, I
Yes, I
walked a long
walked a
way
long way
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yep. Give an example me of the expression too far. Please give an example of the expression too far. Please. It's too
It's
far
too
to walk
far to walk
to the
to the
station.
station.
Let's get a taxi.
Let's get a taxi.
Yep, so why do we generally use the word distant instead of far? Why do we generally use the word distant instead of far? We generally
We
use
generally use
the word
the word
distant
distant
instead of
instead
far
of far
as an
as an
adjective before
adjective before
a noun.
a noun.
Give me examples, give me examples. I could see
I
some
could see some
sheep
sheep
in a
in a
distant field.
distant field.
Yep, do you have any distant relations living in another country? Do you have any distant relations living in another country? Yes, no? Do you have any distant relations, relatives somewhere
Relation?
in another country? Yes, no?
No?
No, I don't have
I
any
don't have
distant
any distant
relations
relation
living in another
living in
country.
another country.
In another
In
country.
another country.
Me in Australia. Yep. I wish I could go there too soon. Soon. Another. If you could look into a far distant future, what do you like to see there for yourself and for the word generally? Again, if you could look into the far distant future, what do you like to see for yourself and for the word generally? If I could
If
look
I could
into
look
the
into
far
the far
distant
distant
future,
future,
I'd like to see
I'd like to see
happiness
happiness
for
for
myself and
myself and
for the word generally.
for the word
For the world generally.
world generally.
Yeah, Miss Universe 2021. Again, others, if you had the choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? Again, if you had the choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? If I
If I
had the
had
choice
had the choice
of being
of being
born
born
in any
in any
period
period
throughout history,
throughout history,
I'd have
as
chosen.
I'd,
I'd have chosen
I'd have chosen.
which year?
Now it's
Same.
better.
21st century.
21st century.
Why? Why? Because
Because
everything is
everything is
convenient.
convenient.
Woohoo. Again, Heather. So, have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Yes, no.
Yes.
I've sometimes
I
gone throughout,
sometimes can
gone
go throughout
throughout the entire
the
winter
entire winter
without catching
without
a single
catching a
cold.
single cold.
Yes, right. That time. Well, amazing. Again, Heather, do you believe that people are all more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe that there are real basic differences? Again, do you believe that people are more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe that there are real basic differences? I believe I don't believe that.
I believe
I believe
I
that
believe
people
that
are people are
people are
more or less
more
the
or
same
less the same
throughout the world.
throughout the world.
So I am also tall. More or less. Like, I'm an example. I am tall, but you're just taller. Okay. Another, what do you mean by a government official? What do we mean by a government official? By a
By a
government official,
government official
we mean
would
someone who
mean someone
works
who works
for the
for the
government,
government,
usually
usually
with
with
a certain
a
amount of
certain
power.
amount of power.
What do we mean by the official language of a country? What do you mean by the official language of a country? By the
By
official
the
language of a
official
country,
language of a country,
we mean the
we mean the
language that is
language that
used,
is used,
language that is
language that is
used
used
by the
by the
government
government and schools and in schools
in
in
countries where
countries where
a number of
a number of
different
different
languages
languages
are spoken.
are spoken.
Would you like to be a priest? Would you like to be a priest? Yes, no.
No,
No. I wouldn't
I
like to be
wouldn't
a
like to
priest.
be a priest
Why not? Why not? Because I'm not
because I'm
into
not
any
into any
religions.
religion,
Religion.
religion,
Religion or religious
religion
religious affiliations.
affiliations.
Affiliations. Yep. See you then.